Welcome to Unique People Stories. I used to manage an LGBT bookstore. When bookstores were still a thing. One night, a caller says he thinks he might be gay and is considering self-harm. We were not a crisis center. But as long as we're talking, he's safe, right? So I talk to this guy and I answer questions. And I try to be encouraging, and I'm maybe sounding a little frantic, and I'm definitely ignoring the 4 to 5 customers in the store. And this angel of a woman puts her hand on my shoulder and asks for the phone. My turn, she says. And this 50-something lesbian talks to this stranger on the phone. And a line forms behind her. Every customer in that store knows that call. Knows that feeling. And every person takes a turn talking to that man. That story comforts me so much to this day. My daughters came to live with us in late November 2004 from a crappy foster care situation and living in a van with their drug-addled prostitute biological mom before that. Things were still very new to them. They were still adjusting to their new home and were amazed at the simple things like eating, playing with toys that belonged to them, and having nice clothes to wear. When the Christmas tree went up, they didn't have any idea what it was. They thought it was pretty and enjoyed decorating it and looking at it, but other than that, no clue. When we talked about Santa, they were clueless about that as well. They couldn't believe such a thing was possible. They were 4 and 5 years old at this point and had never experienced a Christmas of any consequence. We took them to the nice mall for a visit to Santa. They asked, "Dad, that man really brings us presents?" Of course. I explained and told them the whole deal. I was really bothered by the fact that they came from a foster home and never got a single present, a tree, or any of the traditions associated with it. When we picked up the girls from the foster home, the foster mom didn't give us anything except a bag of men's tube socks. No toys, dolls, nothing. Gradually stacks of presents gathered under the tree. And on Christmas Eve we put out milk and cookies for Santa. They were very skeptical about the whole deal and were questioning the hole down the chimney thing and trying to find holes in my story. We were listening to Christmas music and reading stories, and they kept running to the front window. I thought they were looking for Santa. Finally, I said, "Santa won't come till later after you are asleep." The girls said, "No, Dad, we are looking for the policemen. They always come get us at Christmas." Sad. Anyway, when the girls went to sleep, I put on my big work boots, stomped them around in the fireplace, and left dirty boot prints on the white carpet leading to the cookies. Took a bite, drank some milk, put out the Santa presents, and went to sleep. The next morning about 8 a.m. I heard a tremendous squealing and laughing. They dragged me downstairs to show me the footprints and the half-eaten cookie. He's real. He's real. They didn't care about the presents at all. They were caught up in the magic, and that was fine with me. I found a men's class ring while metal detecting with my sons. The ring is from a local university and dated 1965 with initials engraved inside the band. I posted about this ring on a Facebook page dedicated to lost class rings around 7 a.m. in the morning. A member of the group researched the JCU yearbook to find his name and then used a People Finder site to get a phone number and messaged me by 7:30. I waited till 8 o'clock to call. A gentleman answered the phone and I asked for him by name. This is he. "Hi. My name is Mike Gibson, and this may sound a little weird, but I was out metal detecting with my boys this weekend around the Chagrin River and found a class ring." I heard a slight gasp. I remember exactly where I lost it. We were climbing the rocks along the river. I heard joy and disbelief in his voice. I then began to realize this was real. He went on to tell me he didn't come from a rich family, so the $80 he'd spent on the ring was a lot of money. He did not have the ring very long before losing it. "It is something that I've regretted my whole life," he said. "So much so that he bought a replacement ring about 10 years ago. Now I am beginning to realize the opportunity to help teach our kids an important life lesson that they will never forget." I asked him if he would mind coming to our house for dinner to get the ring and tell us his story. He agrees immediately. "That would be great. I would love to meet your kids and tell them my story." So now we have set a date for dinner on Saturday, March 7th. That's the next time we will have all of our kids together. Do you mind waiting until then? I've waited 55 years. Another week won't kill me. Recently my cousin got a phone and he's a year younger than me. He finally understood the joy I receive from laughing at memes. His mom set his age to 12 even though he's turning 14 next month since she knows I watch anti-vax videos on my phone and she wants to keep him in her web of lies for as long as she can so he can only use YouTube Kids and get apps that she approves of, so no Reddit. So in order to get memes he Googles them. Finds funny ones. Screenshots and even goes through the effort of cropping them. At exactly 11 p.m. he sends me a message that says meme hurricane, which warns me that he's going to spam me with memes, so I turn off notifications. An hour later I go to his messages and turn notifications for him back on. I see memes from 2012 to 2016 and recent, but he sends a lot of dead memes. I used to get annoyed, but I realized this is his way of enjoying memes since he can't get new ones. I laugh along with him at the nostalgia because I used to Google lol cat memes when I was 10 and in exchange I send him a meme of hurricanes that I get from Reddit and other websites. I love that dork. So there's this kid at my school. And he has numerous times been bullied and he gets beat by his stepdad. So this kid has always been abnormal and has done some weird stuff and has even made some threats to shoot up the school. And lately he's been acting very aggressive, and when he's actually friendly people push him away and make fun of him. So I sit next to him and I hear him, "Should I stay or should I go?" And as a joke I started singing it with him and he was smiling and laughing. Then the next day he's sitting there and he asks if I play Dungeons and Dragons and I said yes. So he gets all excited and went and talked about what he did in Dungeons and Dragons for an hour and genuinely enjoyed himself. And this went on for a couple of days and he's made weird remarks about wanting to go to his uncle's in Alaska cause he has a bunch of guns and, there's been only one school shooting in Alaska, which I can see what he was hinting at, but I let him talk and then it was back to Dungeons and Dragons. And over the course of the days he's gradually stopped talking about shooting and has just been generally happier. And he's actually a funny guy and a pretty good friend. Ever since I was a kid, I always loved art and was always at my happiest when doing anything that involved being creative. During middle school, I was bullied a lot and art helped me through that, making me happy when I got praise for a drawing. Outside of projects for classes, most of my art at the time was traced from images printed from the internet. I traced because people liked the art I drew and it made me feel happy too. To be honest, they were probably being nice, but it still felt amazing to hear at the time. During the 6th grade, I had an art class with a really kind and passionate teacher. Before class started one day, she noticed me tracing during class. I would have thought she would have yelled at me, ripped the page away, and possibly punished me. But that didn't happen. Instead, she leaned down and complimented me, saying that my work was good and that I was a good artist. I thanked her and she then asked me why I traced. When I explained my reasons, she calmly asked, "Well, wouldn't you think people would love art you drew on your own more than if you traced it?" She then pulled the print out from under the page I was tracing on and put it next to the paper, asking me to draw it freehand this time. When I told her I wasn't sure I could and that I was nervous, she told me that it'll take time to step out of a comfort zone and I will be nervous the entire time. But it'll be worth it in the end. So I did what she asked, and until the class started, she kept giving me kind looks and kept pushing me to try harder. I ended up showing one of the drawings to my parents and haven't looked back since. I'm 23 now and have come a long way since then. I haven't traced other people's art since that day and my projects really feel like my own. I want to be an animator someday and I'm working towards that goal very steadily while also expanding my skills as an artist. I thought about what that teacher told me that day and how it really stuck with me. I see so many people and artists get angry at tracers, when I just feel sympathy for them because maybe they're just like me and need a push in the right direction. In my opinion, if they're at least trying to make something their own, then they have some potential to do something good one day. I don't know where that teacher is now, but I hope wherever she is, she has helped a lot more kids just like she did with me. Thank you for listening. Do you have any wholesome, happy-hearted stories to tell?